Let's give a hand to the Guam Territorial Band and appreciation for joining us this morning. We kindly invite everyone to proceed to the public hearing room here in the Guam Congress Building, where we may continue our ceremonies. Check. Kindly stand as we continue the ceremony with the recitation of the Inifresi.
Gini mastakilu gikors kogu. Imastakilum gikorosonhu. Zanimas figu na ninasinahu. Hu frestan maisadzu. Para bai hu protehi dan hu defendi. Ihinengi, I cultura, I linguahi, I airi, I hanum zanitano tsamor. Ni rensaku diretsu gininas duus tata. Esti hu afitma gihilui biblia zani banderahu. I benderan guahan.
Thank you, Vice Speaker. Please be seated. At this time, kindly help me in welcoming the Speaker of the 34th Guam Legislature, Speaker Benjamin Cruz.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the Guam Congress Building. Over this last month, it's been quite exciting here. Last month, we honored the men and women of the judiciary that served in the military. This month, we're honored to recognize and honor the members of the Guam Port Authority who also have served in the military. Through my two colleagues, this last week, we've also had a recognition of the men who have served in Vietnam who are being who have been recognized with the Silver Cross and potentially could be receiving the Medal of Honor. Last week was Flag Day, so it's been all compressed, and so this is usually on the first Monday of the month, but everything was happening. So, Senator Brown, thank you very much for bringing your members and veterans to come here this morning so we could honor them. I'd also like to recognize and welcome Captain Harris Sholey, the commander of Naval Base Guam, Captain Chris Chase, the commander, U.S. Coast Guard Sector Guam. Thank you very much, both of you. Major Frank Bloss. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Tim, oh, hi, Major Busan. Yes, my old friend. Welcome this morning, and we are very honored to be hosting these. This was a project of Senator Rodriguez that we thought that every month we'd, rather than have one Veterans Day and one Memorial Day, we would have it every month to recognize all of you and to then go department to department, because some departments have huge contingents that have served in the military and are currently serving in the military. And we want to properly recognize them on a monthly basis. And so we're very honored to have the Port Authority of Guam here this morning. Thank you very much. And with that, I will leave it to whoever's going to come after me, but welcome. And please, after the program, walk around the building and see this. This was restored. It was built in 1949. This room was the courtroom initially, and the other main session hall was the Guam Congress Building, the Legislature's Hall. And so it was all combined into one building because our governor then was at Kamnap Mar. And so we didn't need to have it down here. So, but please, walk around, see what we've done. All the wood that's in here was actual, from 1949, it was all sent and had it restored. All the brass fittings were all restored. As much as possible from the old was saved. And because it was a historic site, we had to restore it to its original design, including putting up the speaker's wing in the front. And so we're very proud of it, and we're very honored to have all of you here this morning to recognize the men and women of the Guam Port Authority who have served, and also to thank all of you for all your service to the military and to our island and to our safety. Thank you very much, and on behalf of the Guam Legislature again, welcome.
Thank you, Speaker. We will now continue with our guest speaker this morning. He is a 34-year veteran of Guam law enforcement and currently serves under the Port Authority of Guam's police chief. He is the co-chairman or co-chairperson of the Area Maritime Security Committee, a member of the Police Officer Standards and Training Commission, coordinator for the Port Catastrophic Response Planning Committee, the administrator of the Ports Police Maritime Enforcement Unit, Joint Committee Military Operations Coordinator, and the overall incident commander for the port's contingencies. Wow, he wears a lot of hats. He started his police career in 1981 when he enlisted as a 17-year-old military police officer in the U.S. Army, and upon release remained in service with the 368th Military Police Corps, U.S. Army Reserve Guam. He later served as a drill sergeant in Washington State and infantryman in the Guam Army National Guard. He is also the senior non-commissioned officer in charge of the 254th Red Horse Squadron Emergency Management Flight and Additional Duty First Sergeant, who has been deployed several times in support of contingencies to Southwest Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, here to give his remarks this morning as our guest speaker, Assistant Port Police Chief, Colonel Christopher A. Roberto.
Manana si Zeus and Hafaday todos amzus. Antes de betutun malauza be extendi un donklu na agradecimiento para amzu todo ginigi iles laturan duahan for our participation. My name is Colonel Chris Roberto, your Assistant Port Police Chief for the Port Authority of Guam. I'd like to take this moment to recognize and thank Imenachantay Kwachu Nales Lituran Guahan for inviting the Port of Guam to participate, celebrate, and honor past and present veterans and their families of the Port of Guam by joining together in raising the nation and Guam colors in appreciation of their unselfish efforts and sacrifices. Before you today stand our proud veterans and family members of the employees of the Port of Guam who have at one time or another answered their nation's call. Be it their own way to travel the world, learn new skills, make a new life for themselves and their families, or out of family tradition, they have all raised their right hand and swore allegiance to the flag as members of the world's strongest military to preserve and protect the freedoms that we all enjoy today. Many of these service members could not have been as successful as they are to stand before you today without the help and support of their families. We've lost a few of our closest friends and families along the way, and we make special mention in honor of our Gold Star family as well. Speaking of military families, our General Manager and former Senator Ms. Joanne Brown and our Chief of Port Police, Doris Aguero, themselves are no strangers to the trials and tribulation of their military life. They have known all too well the challenges of being children of lifelong military members while their fathers were deployed. They know firsthand that they did their part to support their fathers, and we thank them for it. Special mention also goes to our Deputy Manager, General Manager for Operations, Felix Panglinan, who himself is a veteran. He served with pride and distinction in the United States Army. The motto of the port, "We keep Guam moving," is no small motto when you consider that over 90% of the goods and commodities in Guam come through the Port of Guam. That motto, when applied to the honorable service of these veterans here today, is really a continuation of their military service, of dedication and commitment towards a greater good. Every nut and bolt, ration, weapon system, associated consumables, and other support equipment for warfighting, or in response to contingencies of natural or man-made disasters, comes through the port. Even our actively serving military service members and their families, their leadership, base communities, and overall mission sets are serviced by our employees at the largest, busiest, and best-serving port in Micronesia. The Port of Guam continues with them in the commitment to ensuring that the largest growth of military capabilities, one that we've not seen since the Vietnam conflict decades ago, is not hampered. The port and its employees constantly plan, upgrade, and stand ready to meet the needs and demands of the military buildup and their mission. The port is well aware of how we contribute because of our unique and strategic location, and it requires us to have a deeper understanding of the overall strategic mission. The greater understanding, in turn, allows us to forge amazing relationships and partnerships that you see here today. As a testament to this partnership, we recognize our military representatives and the island leaders in our gallery today. Captain of the Port, Christopher Chase, who over the years I got a chance to meet with, or over his time here in meeting our mission. His overall responsibilities includes the protection of shipping lanes, passenger ships, domestic and foreign commercial cargo, to meet the unique security needs of our port for our island. Equally as important in his leadership are the response teams that carry out the maritime search and rescue missions. No small feat when you consider that his area of responsibility covers well over 1 million square miles. That's a lot of miles. Also here today is Captain Hans Shully, Commander, Naval Base Guam, a man who over the years understood and worked alongside us because we truly share concurrent jurisdiction with the water being our borders. Thank you, Captain Shully. Colonel Tim Puzan, our commander for the 254th Air Base Group, Guam Air National Guard. His mission set in deploying our warfighters who are 100% locally grown and globally known is no small feat. Thank you, Colonel. These leaders, like many of our leaders on the island, must strike a balance when dealing with the unique challenges that our island's warriors face when acknowledging a warning order, preparing, outfitting, training, and deploying them to the mission. Most importantly, returning our Guam sons and daughters, these warriors, home to their families. Thank you all, leaders. So without further delay, we'd like to call on Marge? Miss Marge, that's okay. But we offer accolades to these veteran service members of the Port of Guam. They are truly an asset. They take with them all their pride and training and bring it to the port and apply it to keep Guam moving. There are other many men and women in service of our great island that aren't recognized here, and they're deployed in harm's way. They live under austere conditions and miss many personal family milestones, as we have acknowledged here. We honor them and their families as well. We wish them Godspeed home. In closing, we thank you, Honorable Speaker Cruz, Vice Speaker Talahi, Senator Dennis Rodriguez for the Veterans Affairs, and Senator Frank Elgin Jr., the Oversight Chairman for the Port, for allowing us to come to the 34th Guam Legislature and allowing us the opportunity to participate, showcase, and honor one of our greatest assets, the veteran employees and their families of the Port of Guam. Viva Port! Viva. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Chief. At this time, we kindly ask everyone to stand for a moment of silence in honor and memory of those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you. At this time, kindly help me welcome the Chairman of the Committee on Legislative Operations and the Chairman on Health, Tourism, Military Affairs, and Senior Citizens to offer our closing, Senator Dennis G. Rodriguez, Jr.
Thank you very much. Please have a seat. Again, on behalf of Speaker Cruz and Vice Speaker Terlahi, want to thank you all for coming down here at the Guam Congress Building. I want to recognize the presence of course, Senator Joanne Brown. Thank you very much for being here as well. Since moving back to this historic building, as the speaker has mentioned, we made it a point to ensure that we give back and we recognize our veterans who have served and gave us our freedom. And so as a small token of that appreciation, we said we needed to do something like this every month, where every month we recognized a different veteran service organization or a different department, because we know throughout this island we have our veterans who served. And today, this month, we honor the Port Authority. We honor the men and women who have served. I understand over 30 of the men and women in the port who are veterans or currently serve. And so to you in the port, Sidus Masi, thank you very much for your service to our island and to our country. But as Chief has also mentioned, the port is very important. It's a crucial part of our island. It's what brings in our food and everything else that we need. And so we want to thank you again, Senator Brown, for the service that you provide. I want to thank all branches of the military. We have the Army, Air Force, which my good friend Colonel Dave Cruz is here. We have Coast Guard, Navy. Did I say Navy already? The Marines, and there's one more. Is there one more? I got it all. Okay, good. So, but really, thank you very much. And so this event is, again, is a small token of our appreciation, because we know Veterans Day, Memorial Day is not just one day a year. It's every day, and we will never forget. So, Sidus Masi, and God bless you all. Thank you very much.
This concludes our short and sweet ceremony this morning. And so we kindly like to ask our guests from the Port Authority and their colleagues from the Coast Guard to please join us for a photo this morning. And have a great week, and God bless you all.